This is a basic overview of the wallboard and also the agent. So this is the agent software. This is what you would use to log into the telephone system and then be able to make and receive calls. So what I'm going to do is to send a call into the system, and what you should see is this wallboard agent option here, update. At the moment it says that this agent has been free, not been taking any calls for the last 18 minutes, and it will update automatically if I change my status. So I'm going to change my status from unavailable to, let's say, do an admin break, and now it will show my status being an into admin break. And likewise I can come out of admin by unclicking the box and disconnecting, and you'll see the status change from admin to be available. As you see there. If I go into wrap up, so I need some time after a call, I click the wrap up button and I'm in a wrap up state, and it will then update the wallboard to show accordingly. I'm going to come out of the wrap up state, and it will change the wrap up state to be cancelled and my status to be idle, and it says I've been in an idle state for 10 seconds. I'm now going to send in a call, so I'm going to move the agent application over to one side. I'm going to send in a call. So the call is going to come through. So what it's actually doing, it's actually ringing the next available agent. So this is the one down here, that one's ringing, but I'm not going to answer the call. I'm going to let it bounce to the next available agent. And they're going to take the call. I'm presented with a presentation guide to tell me where the call is calling from, and then I'm now on the call with the external caller, and it says ACD, automatic call distribution, call in conversation, and the duration you can see there is matching up. Okay, I'm going to transfer the call, let's say, to another agent, and I know that agent number is 4515. So I'm just going to do a new call, 4515, and it's ringing. You maybe hear it in the background. I'm going to click transfer. Now when I end the call, I do have the option of entering what's called a transaction code. So, what was the call about? And this is something that management will decide. So I'm just going to enter a simple code of 123, and these codes allow you to report. I'm going to apply the code, and now I'm in the wrap up state. Wrap up, and you can see the other state of the call is in conversation, which is true, it is in conversation. Now if I now go into unavailable for lunch, you can see that there is 3 calls answered today, 1 agent logged in, which is true, 1 is on call, and 1 is in progress. So this is a presentation of a call queuing on the wallboard, because we're in a state where of 2 agents being available, 1 is on lunch, 1 is ready in a conversation, so any subsequent calls need to queue. So what I'll do, I'll send in a new call. The system does recognize my number, so what will happen is that you'll hear the prompts that the caller would hear, and the presentation on this wallboard as a queue.
Thank you for calling the Salvation Army Property Repairs Help Desk. Please hold as we route your call to our Southern support team. Thank you for calling support. Please hold. One of our engineers will be with you shortly.
Your queue position is first in the queue. And as you can see, I'm just going to lower the volume here. So what you can see is that there is one call waiting, and the wallboard can be configured to flash or change a different color if there are calls waiting, and then you can see the actual real time of the call waiting. You notice here that I've got one abandoned call. So every 15 minutes the system will update its counters and give you the number of abandoned calls. So the call I made previously, one of the previous calls abandoned. I abandoned while I was listening to the queue messaging, and it will count those messages up, all those abandoned calls up, and then give you a counter that's updated every 15 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this agent available. So to come off lunch, so go to my unavailable button and clear down, and immediately the call has been delivered to me. I take the call, and we're in conversation, and you see no calls waiting and obviously no ringing time. And I can end the call, enter my transaction code if needed. It's optional, so this option can be turned off. The code is registered, we disconnect. And this agent is now available. In fact, is in wrap up. It's true. You after each call you will have a pre-configured time to wrap up the call. It's really down to how the system is configured. I think my time is 30 seconds at the moment, so I'll get 30 seconds in this wrap up phase before the next call is presented to me, if there are any calls waiting or queuing. And we're now available. In this presentation, I'd like to show you the piece of software that you'll be used to make and receive phone calls. It's called a soft phone, so it's like a physical phone that you would have on your desk, but all in software sitting on your PC. The application is called IP Desktop Soft Phone. So with my Windows machine, I'm going to find the application, and there it is, IP Desktop Soft Phone. And when it starts up, it becomes as if you had a physical phone on your desktop, but all the emulation of it is now on your PC. So you'll need to have a headset connected, very much like how you would use with a Teams call, to make and receive calls. And you're in a position now to receive a call, but not as part of the contact center. To be part of the contact center, you need to log in to the contact center, and you'll be provided with what's called an agent ID. And with this agent ID, you'll be able to make and receive calls as part of the contact center. Now this agent has a number assigned to it, which is 4518. Now, don't get put off by these keys here saying 4515, because if these are soft keys to call other people within the organization, you can pre-program them to be whatever you want them to be. But in this situation, I'm just showing some keys that I would easily use to call other members of departments. So I am available to be an agent, but I'm not logged in. I need to click on the menu button here and click login. Now I have what's called a wallboard, which shows my active status of my agent. This is what anyone within your organization can see, and my agent number is 4518, and I am logged out, and I've been in that state for about 9 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is bring the phone software to the forefront, click login. Now I'm going to enter my agent number, which is 4518, and I am now registered to take calls. And you see my status changes from logged out to be available, and I've been in this state for 10 seconds. When I'm in this state, I can switch to be in what's called unavailable mode. This would be like taking a lunch break or a comfort break, or be in a position where you can't take calls right now because you're doing some admin work. So I'm going to click on unavailable and go into admin mode. So I'm going to click admin, and what will happen is that the wallboard will be updated to show that I am in admin mode, which means I cannot take any calls. So the system will not route any calls to me because I'm in that mode. And then I can click out and become available. So now I'm available to take calls, and I go into that state of being idle. So idle means available. The way the system is configured is that it will route calls to the agent has been idle the longest. So if a call came in now into my group, this agent here, 4515, will receive the call. So I'm in a position to take a call, but I also have other options. Let's say I need some time to perform a quick function after a call, so that I can go into what's called wrap up. And the system will give me about 30 seconds of wrap up time. This is all down to how the system is configured. So I'm in wrap up there, and I can cancel the wrap up. And when I'm in that wrap up state, I don't receive calls. I have the option to call the supervisor. So I can click this button here and it will ring my available supervisor. I can click a button here to get some queue information. State of the queue, 3 people available to take the calls. And when I finish work for the day, I would log off. And I'm in the log off state.